Welcome everybody to a special video, and yeah, the inevitable has happened with my film collection in that I have now reached the 1,000 film mark, 1,035 to be precise. So yeah, and I know that sounds a lot, and in some ways it is a lot, but to be honest, if you just look at this, for instance, these 5 releases from Eureka, going from here to here, is 22 films in total. So yeah, even though 1,035 is a lot, it's not like they're all in their own individual cases, or they're not part of box sets, because that's just the case. They're in box sets, or they're in their own. Several films are in one case. So yeah, so we're gonna look at all of it. To be honest, not in depth or anything like that, but we're definitely gonna look at all of it. So yeah, the big parts of my collection are generally the boutique labels. We've got Indicator and Arrow Video, for instance, are the two main ones. Arrow takes up 6.5 shelves, and Indicator takes up around 4.5. So yeah, we start off here with the top part, where we've got a load of the Indicator releases. Most of these are not limited edition or anything like that, but these 3 box sets from Ray Harryhausen are, peak part of my collection, quite frankly. 9 films in total, and yeah, which represents more than half of his body of work from the late 40s to the early 80s. So yeah, and then some more there. As you can see, he's still got quite a bit of space for Indicator at the moment, but I'm sure that'll be filled in no time at all. Some more of the releases. A lot of these are pretty damn great. Some of them I've still not seen. Criminal Code, for instance, I've not watched yet. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. But most of these I have watched, and most of them I do really rather enjoy. Then we've got some more box sets. The William Castle, Fuller and Marlene Dietrich box sets are all fantastic again. Really comprehensive releases. The William Castle one is the one that really got me into his, body of work. I had seen House on Haunted Hill a while before I ever got that release, but that release is what really sealed it for me. Marlene Dietrich Collection is the one that really surprised me. I wasn't expecting to like a lot of those, but in all honesty, all but one, I think all but one, maybe all of them were actually pretty damn good. So, yeah, really impressed by them. But the actual peak of Indicator is the Columbia Noir collection, which, yeah, 4 box sets, soon to be 5 with the Humphrey Bogart collection. And, yeah, pretty much all of the films are great. There's only one that I actually don't like, and that was 5 Against the House, which isn't a particularly great film. Got a good premise, but it doesn't really make up for it. There's a couple of others that I've only given 3 out of 5 stars, but most of them are 3.5 or more, and a good few of them are 4.5 stars. So yeah, well worth seeking those out if you haven't already. Then we've got a few more there at the end, and then we have also the Imprint collection, which hasn't grown massively in the last few couple of months or whatever, because these are Australian and they obviously do take a while to come through, and I've only recently really gotten into them. But yeah, the 3 that I got recently were Across 110th Street, The Hunter and The Dead Zone. The Across 110th Street and The Hunter were the ones that released this year, and yeah, pretty damn impressed by Imprint overall, to be fair. And this box set, super rare in the UK. There was only 1 of 2 that were available at the time, and I had to go for the more expensive one because the other one had been bought out. And yeah, not the greatest of films by any means, but I really do like my 40s/50s horror sci-fi films, and they're a really good part of my collection, to be honest. And at the top, just because there's no real room for it, we've got the Godzilla Collection from Criterion, which is easily one of the best releases out there just in terms of the packaging. Then we've got the Italian Job 50th Anniversary, which is one of the worst limited edition versions I've ever bought. £40, and you're basically getting a Blu-ray with that was released, I think, for the 45th anniversary, and not much else in terms of extras. But then you've also got these 3 here. The Get Out Collection on 4K, The Game, which is an absolutely superb film with Michael Douglas, and then the Alfred Hitchcock Collection, which again is really good, well packaged, kind of like the Godzilla Collection, to be honest. And then we have Eureka. Now, Eureka did briefly some of these VHS film collections, like HMV did, but I think these are the only 2 that they released. But yeah, I wish they did more, but I can see why they didn't, because they do take up quite a bit of space. As you can see, it's so much taller than a normal Blu-ray case, so I can see why. But yeah, Eureka again are another one of my collection that has grown exponentially in the last year or so. And Revolver is a new release from them. You'll see that on an update video. But yeah, they haven't really done massive box sets. The only one I've got from them is Fuller at Fox, who is also the same guy in the Indicator box set. But yeah, still really good films, 5 great films there. And yeah, then obviously you have the single disc kind of a box set releases that I talked about earlier. But yeah, they are all great. I really like the classic horror films from the 30s. And then you got Karloff at Columbia, which has 6 good films. The Inner Sanctum Mysteries are pretty much all good. They got the 2 from the Ishiro Honda. I love Battle in Outer Space. It's generally one of my favourite films going out there, to be honest. Then you got the 3 that were released recently on the Eureka Collection. Really, really do love the Monolith Monsters, and the other 2 are pretty good. And then you got some, Asian horror film, Asian thriller films. You got Full Alert and Midnight, pretty damn good. But then you've got these really nice chunky limited editions, Mothra and Johnny Guitar, which are really, really nicely done. So, yeah, on the whole, Eureka is pretty damn fantastic, to be honest. I've not seen every film from them that I've got at the moment. I think I've still yet to see Marty, but most of them I have watched. The Jackie Chan films that I got in the last few months were really, really fun to finally get my hands on. Then we've got the 4K collection, which again has been growing really, really rather well. Now, obviously, Arrow Video have also been releasing 4K films, but I put them in their own section. So, yeah, you'll see them in a minute. But, yeah, such a great amount of 4K releases, especially in terms of the limited edition ones. You've got Carlito's Way and The Howling, which are great. Never thought Dead and Buried would get a Blu-ray release, let alone a 4K release. So that was really nice to finally get hands on. Then you've got the 3 Halloween films. I know there's obviously more than those, but these are the only 3 out of the original series that I actually properly enjoy. Then you got the How to Train Your Dragon series, one of the best animated trilogies going. Fantastic steelbooks. Then the underrated Maze Runner trilogy, which I actually really rather enjoy. The fantastic Planet of the Apes trilogy. Then you got Spider-Man, Men in Black. I only really got Men in Black because it was going cheap. I haven't watched it on the 4K yet, but it was going quite cheap, so I thought I may as well get it since it's actually quite an enjoyable 90s film, really. And then you got the Sicario films, Lord of the Rings trilogy, and yeah, more good box sets and limited editions, really. Knives Out, Hellboy. I love the Godzilla box set. That's easily one of my favourite modern monster films. I've got all 4 of them, though, and yeah, I really do like them, to be honest. And then you've got V for Vendetta, Batman Begins, both Quiet Place films, and then the John Wick films. I've got the 3rd one on 4K, but that's in the steelbook section, so you'll see that in a minute. So yeah, more 4Ks over on this shelf, kind of follows through, and yeah, more great films, to be honest. Then you got these 4 from Studio Canal, these really rather thick box sets, which have quite a lot going for them. And then back to over this shelf, then we have the pièce de résistance of my collection, to be honest, which is Arrow Video. It's just absolutely amazing how many great films that they've released and how many great box sets that they've released as well. Because you've also got the Sultana Collection, you've got the Diamond Trilogy, then you've also got the Vengeance Trails, and then the Sam Katzman Collection, then Years of Lead, which only has 1 film out of it I don't like, so 4 films out of 5 isn't bad at all. But yeah, Arrow Video have done a huge amount of films that I really, really enjoy. I'm bending down a little bit, so yeah, these are more of the Arrow Academy kind of stuff, so you got your film noirs, and yeah, a little bit more artsy kind of films. Then we've got more of the kind of standard editions. Mostly it's all horror films, to be honest, most of it, to be fair. Some giallo, some spaghetti westerns, but most of it is horror. And then we have the likes of the BFI collection and Network. Not all of my Network films are down on here, to be honest, though, purely because I just ran out of room. But yeah, BFI and Network have done several great releases. And again, you got some more film noirs in there. And just generally a really wide range of kind of films, to be fair. Then you got the likes of 88 Films, Signal 1, and yeah, Plan B Entertainment, following through to some Second Sight. And then up here we've got all the 101 films. I love 101 films, to be honest. They put out a lot of 50s sci-fi horror films that I absolutely adore. I mean, stretching from here, you got Alligator People, then Tarantula. It came from It Hit the Terror from Beyond Space, The Mole People, Colossus from New York, of New York even, and then then you got these nice limited editions, New Kids Roller Coaster in Suburbia, and then more Signal One here with their limited editions going as well. The top two there, I think top three there went out of print quite quickly when I eventually got into Signal One, so yeah, I had to buy them on eBay, unfortunately. And then another stellar part of my collection is the premium collection, which, yeah, as you can see, I have quite a lot of them. Obviously, I don't have all of them because there are 153 of them, I think. Yeah, there's definitely not 153 films there, but I buy them based on whether or not I like them or not. I don't buy them just to fill a number in a gap or whatever like that. So there are quite a few gaps in the numbers there, but they are numbered in order mostly. Mostly, I still haven't put House of Wax in its correct place yet. Then we have a few basic Blu-Rays and some of the VHS collection from HMV, which, yeah, again, I really rather enjoy. Then we just have some more basic Blu-Rays. A lot of these basic Blu-Rays are going to be packaged away to just make more room. So, yeah, not going to see much of them anymore, but you got more of the network stuff here. Got a couple of Lucio Fulci films. Then you got the Gamera collection and the Melville collection together at last. Then more of the basic Blu-Rays. So, yeah, again, not much in the way of limited editions there. So a lot of those will be packaged away at some point. Then you got a bunch of steelbooks. Not as much of a fan of steelbooks as I used to be, but so this part of the collection hasn't really expanded all that much. But yeah, really do adore all of those films. I wouldn't have bought them on steelbook if I didn't. And there's John Wick 3, also on 4K and in steelbook form. If you're wondering what that is Hindenburg, the Hindenburg in Japanese. And then we've got some box sets here: James Bond, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Man with No Name, Dirty Harry, X-Men, Indiana Jones. Then we've got some of the Criterion collection, or some more of it, because obviously we saw Godzilla earlier, but this is the more basic releases. Not the biggest part of my collection by any means, but it has expanded in recent, weeks and months, with the likes of Written on the Wind and It's a Mad World and Night of the Living Dead and Menace to Society as well. Then more basic Blu-Rays along with the stuff from Studio Canal, who've done a lot of different kind of films. You've got Quatermass in the Pit, which is obviously a sci-fi film from the 60s, but then you got The Wicker Man, Handmaiden. I think that was released by... No, it wasn't actually. Sorry, do apologise. But yeah, then you've also got the Ealing comedies like Lavender Hill Mob and Tickfield Thunderbolt. Then you got Fast and Furious Collection and Burning, which is absolutely fantastic. And then more box sets down here. I've just adored these films recently, so yeah, I kind of spent out on Frankenstein collection, the Mummy collection, the Invisible Man collection, and Creature collection. Did want to get Dracula and the Wolfman, but then I realised that outside of a couple of films, most of those are already on these box sets here, so I never bothered really. Then got some stuff from the likes of Medium Rare, more basic Blu-Rays, more box sets, Back to the Future, and yeah, ending with Poltergeist 2. So yeah, it's quite a large collection at the moment. I know it's not the biggest going out there, but if you're the, kind of casual, collector, then this is probably well beyond you. And I really do not expect or, think that everyone should have a collection like this, because obviously it is massive. It is taking up a lot of room. We've got 3 shelves pretty much filled to the brim. So yeah, and like I said earlier in another video, I will be getting rid of more of these basic Blu-Rays, putting the discs in a folder, and then storing the cases themselves, just because I don't have the room for them really anymore. And most of them I'm not fussed about keeping out either, because I've seen them enough at the moment, or don't plan on watching them again in the near future or anything like that, basically. So yeah, most of those will go, but the the boutique stuff, the 4K films and stuff like that will be still on show. So yeah, should have plenty of room for the future. Nonetheless, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear about your collection, if you have a sizable one, or even if you don't, and even if it's a modest collection, I'd like to hear about it. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.